Do you feel that there's pressure on you to be ahead in life?
Are we all pausing because we can relate to that?
I don't think it's many of us are actually where we want to be anyway. We're actually just here to discuss, we are youths, and this is youthful discussions anyway. So we want to talk about issues or talk about experiences. We are at a certain age, at least we've lived for over 20 years, so we've had experiences, right? So it's just smart and wise to share them, just in case you might be facing something like that. How can you navigate them? How you can learn from us or learn from our experiences, even though we are young boys. Do you ever feel behind? Do you ever feel kind of lagging in the area of life? What makes you feel that way, and how do you handle the pressure? Is there even any pressure at all on you? Do you feel that there's pressure on you to be ahead in life?
Are we all pausing because we can relate to that?
I don't think it's many of us are actually where we want to be anyway.
I also don't just think it's the fact that we're not where we want to be. I think the economic situation of things also it puts a lot of pressure naturally on you. Because if you think about, okay, you're making money, but what's the actual economic value of this money that you're making?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
maybe I remember leaving secondary school 2015-ish, you will see bankers, maybe even entry secondary school, 2008, people that are working regular jobs, they're able to build houses, they're able to buy cars, all of those things. And it's okay, now I'm making money, but how many things am I able to buy with the amount of money that I'm making? And it's just that pressure to not even try to live up to a societal standard now, in the sense where there's a lot of young boys that have plenty money nowadays, but just being able to do these things I looked forward to doing when I was younger. You used to say your roaring 20s.
We did have dreams.
When we were my 20s roaring like this. Those dreams that you had, and you're when I'm an adult, when I get to my 20s, I'll be able to do I can do some of those things, but is it to the extent that I wanted to do them at that point in time? And I don't compare myself to other people, because I do feel like my journey is unique to me. It's not I'm lagging behind in the things that I should be doing for myself. Yeah. But it's still there's that pressure to want to do better for myself. Okay, I want to have been ahead of the phase that I'm currently in. Yeah. And all of those things. So that pressure is there. And I'm a firstborn too, Sha. So,
firstborn here, sir?
So there's that. And maybe your siblings text you, I need this and that. A lot of times I'm able to do that. But also there's sometimes that's I don't have now, no go vex. My youngest sister will just send me multiple messages. I love you, There's people out there, but sometimes there could be that pressure too, not in a bad way, because it's not
actually the pressure depends on how you channel the pressure.
But exactly. Channel the pressure to work and
moving forward,
getting better and all of this.
In fact, I was going to say actually that I don't think there is good and bad pressure. I think pressure is pressure. It only depends on how the person takes it. You can take it the wrong way, and you can also take it the right way, and it will fuel you into becoming what you want to become. And just as Solomon said, I don't think we should compare ourselves with other people, because there's no wisdom in that actually. You just plunge into depression for nothing. Just make sure you are making progress at your own pace, not at somebody's pace. I usually check this guy on Instagram that talks about at what age did you become a millionaire. Okay. And I kept saying 22, 24, 25. God, what am I doing?
Which millions am I doing now?
The funniest thing is teenagers will see that and feel like, me too, 20, 25. But now teenagers do not, I don't know, the kind of environment they are in, it's not like it's an unrealistic expectation because it is realistic.
But I do think there's a lot of unrealistic expectations too, and the standards that have been created.
Okay.
Some are realistic, proper standards. Like for example, tech bros now. Tech bros make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even some of the brothers here.
Some of them. Yeah.
Some of the brothers they make.
We know that.
and that's good examples. But there's also on the other side where there's Yahoo boys, and they are seeing there are some videos I will see public secondary school kids, SS1, SS2, and this is like no shade. It's just you start seeing them with iPhone 16, and you're like, where do you get money from? Like, it's questionable funds, and there's a lot of pressure that is now proliferated across.
Yeah, so everyone is expected to.
I see 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds having apartments in Lekki, not out of clean money now, out of actual fraud money. And it's now putting pressure on, okay, me too, I'm like 23, 24.
You know the funniest thing now, there's this notion that it is those kind of people that are now maintaining the economy.
I get
like, what kind of...
Okay, this is the first time I've heard that.
They are the ones that are keeping the money flowing in the economy and make sure...
The economy was going before you was there now.
It came to my mind, so I decided not to say it because...
Maybe you should say it too.
It's about politics and I don't want to speak it.
Allow.
Someone said that you turn the Yahoo boys to,
was that the minister of
that's my own It's not the minister of anything. I'm not going to say anything.
Is this how with V?
Yeah. We're going to convert like
okay, no, it's not the one.
Yahoo boys into tech boys now.
That's the T.
Filling the garbage.
Tech guys that will be something like cyber security.
You should turn them a bit.
They do this
so that they can
do the same thing. It's not the same thing. That's why I think there's a values problem in our generation now, and a lot of it is fueled by these unrealistic standards. Like, I do think we should strive for proper stuff. We should strive for legitimacy too. I have no problem with tech bros that are making stinking money. Like they are doing is work that is being rewarded. They are providing value and all of those things. But if you are scamming people and then you are giving that, there's no.
If you are scamming people,
there's no dignity in that work.
Sooner or later, it's going to come out because that's a very wrong foundation to set.
And it's unrealistic because if those opportunities are out of the way,
you can't sustain that.
How do you go back exactly?
You can't sustain that. So where do you start from when you are caught? Because you'll be caught. Where do you start from?
You will be caught. Definitely.
I have a friend like that has that terrible disdain for your voice. Terrible disdain. And I get it. There's also the part where for a lot of us now, we are freelancers.
Yeah.
There is the negative image of
the country. I remember when we wanted to get an apartment. You need to see the way I actually dressed.
So now they are lumping everybody together in the same box. And it's unfair.
But I think I have an approach to lagging behind and just an approach to look at. So let's look at this illustration. So imagine we have a track field. Yeah. You are seeing people in front, which is why you feel like you are behind.
Yep.
Literally. And it is what matters here, actually, importantly, is that you finish.
And that you are moving.
You understand? So I think that's where comparison comes in. Like everybody has said so far, that's when you start to compare. Comparison is the thief of all joy. You begin to feel like, okay, at this point of my life, what am I doing when this person has, done this? There was this morning you woke up very early and then you were playing this motivational video, and then I was hearing this guy that flew to England at the age of 12. Was doing robotics at the age of 12. My brother, I was imagining Marvel comics. Like, bro, imagine I want to say that as I mean, don't get me wrong,
It's
though.
good
You
to
can
strive
have great
for
people
stuff,
as, to track progress sometimes, but it is very important to know that as long as you keep moving and you're not static, and as long as you have the mindset that you're going to finish and finish well, you're pretty much fine. Wherever you are, just keep moving and don't
and I think
stop.
it ties back to something Press said where he talked about pressure. I think you can now take that as drive.
Yes, it can drive you.
I'm trying to compare myself with this person. Like, okay, I want to do better for myself, and I can see this as an example. That's how I see what people compare themselves to. Like I have like family members, cousins that are doing very well. It's like, oh, this person is a good example
for me.
Rather than, okay, I'm trying to compare my own journey to their own journey. And you can pick a lot of stuff from different.
The journey is actually can be a long one, can be a short one.
It can be depressing too sometimes.
You can
nobody's taking that
really lonely.
Yes.
And that actually leads us to our next question, which is around what kind of things did you guys actually do before you got to where you are now? At least you're not where you were. You started from somewhere, right? Now, some of us have tried out lots and lots of other things.
I feel like
for me now, I know at some point I did coding. I learned CMS, CSS.
You left.
I disappeared. I left it there. I went to design. Now I am doing video editing. Well, those skills are actually very important. They are not skills that you can throw away. You actually use them one way or the other. For example, now when I was in my school in department, I was the one that had the best presentation for as per the designer I was. So I was able to like make a very nice presentation to the point that the lecturer actually acknowledged and was telling people to do what I did and all that. So it's actually advantageous. So those skills you actually gather on the way are still part of the journey. Yeah. It's just that it might not look like it is at a particular point, right? So what other things did you guys actually do? Moses, let's start with you. What things did you do during your life? What jobs, odd jobs, and all that? This is going to be long.
This is going to be long, actually.
Yeah.
But I will do my best to try to cut as many things as I can cut out. So for me, at first when I started, at very early stage, while in, I think secondary school, I was doing perfume business, basically.
You're selling perfume?
Yes, I was selling perfume.
Okay.
I was selling perfume. So my mom just saw that thing there, that this guy is going to be good with sales at some point. And she encouraged me towards that. So she got some particular set of perfume for me. And I started with that. I sold it for a while.
Yeah.
Then from there, I sold clothes too. I was literally hawking clothes.
Because they scanned you.
That's before then. So when I was in junior school, I was hawking clothes. I was hawking clothes. So I hawked clothes for some particular month, maybe more than a year thereabouts. Then after secondary school, I started working in an ice block factory. So at the ice block factory, it was really a long process. I would go there as early as 6 a.m. and I'll leave maybe around 7 in the evening.
So ice block, like
so
water, right?
We manufacture ice block, yeah.
Okay.
18 hours.
So after manufacturing, I get there as early as possible, load out, reload into the machine, then try to find a means of transportation to distribute to different people that are in. So usually I was going almost many places in Ibadan. I can't say the entire of Ibadan. So I was going to many places distributing the ice blocks to different people at some particular, but that time I was preparing for jump. And also, so I was trying to juggle. From there, I went to petrol station. I worked as a petrol attendant too. Now you
see that you have
So I work as a petrol attendant I get there as early as 6 a.m. I'm there, and I was preparing because I failed my first job. So I had to take another one.
I feel
So why preparing for the second one? I had to be working because I had to hustle to gather money so that I could go to school and stuff like that. So I worked in the filling station. While working there, issues arise. I don't know. So I think some people that are watching this will have experience. If you work there, like most of the time, the pump always misbehave and you always go at loss. And they always remove it from your salary. So I can count how many times I got my complete salary in that place. It was not up to 2 times.
Wow.
So
how much was the salary?
Don't let me tell you. It was a ridiculous amount.
Don't let's go there.
Okay. 7,000, between 710. I started with 7 first. 7,000 per month. And I was not working shift.
It was full.
It was from 60, maybe around 9 or 10.
Which kind of nonsense?
It was really.
Those were the dark days, man.
so like that from there, working then while I was working in the filling station, I also did bricklaying. So I did bricklayer for so I didn't see between while working there too. Then from there I went to school. Then in school, just things, little things, just one or few things. And during COVID, then I worked in a water factory, pure water factory.
Wait, hold on. The ice block. It was the ice block factory before?
Ice block factory first.
Now water.
Now I work in a pure water industry.
So
I worked there for about maybe 3 months thereabouts. Then while I was there, things were not really going well. Like I was like, the stress is more than I worked there. I work in a manufacturing unit. I also worked in the distribution unit. So basically, we're carrying pure water and offloading to different stores and stuff like that. So from there, I left there. After praying for a while, trusting God, then the Lord laid it to me that let me just start tutor. So I started tutoring pupils and like that. I had like a private lesson stuff. So I was running my thing at my own pace and my own time. So in fact, while I was doing that, I was making more than times 4 of the money of all the stressful job I was doing, and I had time for myself. Because basically, there was time go in the morning, come and you are stressed, and you still have to read. So it was a lot. My night was empty, and I still have to wake up as early as possible.
This is not even pity. I don't pity you. In fact, it's because actually
character because I learned working with different people at different phase, at different level, like age gap, relating to people with your mate, relating to people that are older than you. That's a whole lot. So
not to shade teachers anyway, but
actually, those guys are really
tough.
Doing a lot. Actually, I believe that job is underrated.
It's undervalued. This side of the world, underpaid, everything.
It's not like before. It was formally that they had high regard for these guys. Like, so I did TP to this because I'm an educationist. So I finished in University of Ibadan education, science and tech education to be precise. So I did TP twice, and it was
that teaching practice.
Yeah, teaching practice. Yeah, I did it twice at different stages. So during that time, I got connection and I started tutoring. I started tutoring guys that were preparing for JAMB and like so that was the last one I did before I moved into the tech space.
Yeah.
And
welcome.
Welcome.
Before I moved into tech space. So I'm in the tech space now. I'm into video editing, motion graphics, and also full stack web development.
Wow.
So
my run away still.
I'm not running.
It's coming back. It's coming.
I'm coming with you first.
Anyways, all of us are actually into either editing, creative space, and tech.
Basically,
yeah. That's all we do.
Moses has done a lot of things. So.
Yeah.
That's how I was like, I know Moses has a lot of things to say.
I think for me it was different. I didn't do anything, to be honest.
No, man.
I think even in the university, I was intentional about staying away from stuff because, I think mine was different. I was in a lot of leadership positions.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I had a lot of things going on that side. I started an NGO in school at the end of 200 level. It's a non-profit organization. So there was that, there was academics, there was leadership in school organizations, leadership in the department. And I started learning 3D design in 200 level, but I did not necessarily monetize it properly until we left school because I wanted to keep that a bay on the side, even though I paid for it in some way because like I could have gotten money out of it. I could have pushed myself to develop even further, but I just didn't want to have that distraction. I saw it as a distraction at that point in time. I finish your first class. That was besides the point. It's very strong to one. Okay. I think it was until my final year that I actually started taking jobs. And most of the jobs were like, okay, cause I studied engineering, maybe my classmates or my course-mates or guys in my faculty, they needed a visualization for their projects. I think that was the first time I actually did work. Okay, no, sometime in 300 level, I did go and work for an architect where I visualized a couple of buildings at ISI. The International School Ibadan, University of Ibadan.
You also forgot Timothicus?
Yes, there was Multicos too. I want to even talk about the architect's work. I fell sick. Jesus Christ.
Fell sick.
For how much again? But I'm not that I'm thinking about it. I fell sick, and then there was Multicos, which was a brand I started with Shehu and Mayowa and my sister. All that was majorly utilizing like my 3D design skills. And now we are finished school. I realized that engineering is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. Yes.
Have you finally decided?
I've left.
No.
You can't allow that. I've not collected my certificate because I've not collected it.
You will, okay.
But I heard like you have to practice for like, is it 3 years or 5 years before you can even call yourself an
yes, what kind of rubbish down after the months.
Bye guys.
Are you kidding me?
So what I'm into now is I'm trying to get into like, what would I be? I think I'll just say I'm still working. I'm working as research and strategy associates, like a consulting firm, sort of. And then I'm a tech bro too. In some sense, I pick design gigs, 3D design, space visualizations, product visualizations, all of those things. So there's that creative side of me, but I also want to drop that soon too. I don't want my creative juice to be overwhelmed too much with like work and everything. But that's a conversation for another. That's my own story.
I actually just remember that actually even I was lucky. My first year in university, I was put with serious people as roommates. Shout out to them. But sometimes it's actually, they were bookworms too, but they were actually also focused in, skills and all that. So they actually decided to start learning stuff early. Yeah. And when I saw them doing stuff, and it was like only me, I just carry laptop and started
You're lucky.
That's the kind of pressure we're talking about.
Yeah, true. Now that's a very good kind of pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I could have actually seen it as, what's wrong these people? I did the only ones and all that. But they were actually exposed because they did A-levels. They are the kind of people that knew about stuff and all that. So, but me, I just felt like, well, let me just follow their footsteps. That even brings us to purpose. Would you say they kind of gave me my purpose? Because what I started learning actually directed me into what I'm doing now. Right?
Well, if that's a question, there's something that Steve Jobs, or whatever the right pronunciation is, said. He said you don't connect the dots while looking forward. Because when you look back, then you connect them together. And which means that one thing that you've done at some point would connect to the other points to where you are. And it's something that kind of like encourages me sometimes not to force things. Because when yes, it's good to be strategic, yes, it's good to plan, it's good to have its targets, but there are just some things that just come into play. It just happens and you wouldn't know at that moment until when you look back at it.